Phasma and Jaren's podcast, the podcast that talks about Doctor Who and Star Wars, hosted by Lee Croddick. Welcome and hope you enjoy listening to this episode. Hello, welcome back to the show. This episode is very special because it's the 1 year anniversary of the first episode of Phasma and Jaren's being released in 2022, which was of course the Power of Doctor preview, where I talked about Joy Wicker's last episode. I'm still here for a year, and I just want to thank everyone who's listened and on all the stuff I've done. I really appreciate the support, and I'm just excited to continue what I've done, and I'm hoping you're enjoying the experience. So once again, thank you so much. So for this episode, it's a very special one, and of course it's come at a good time. It's of course the Ahsoka chat where I discuss Ahsoka and my thoughts on it, and it's definitely going to be an interesting episode. So sit back, relax, and I'll begin. Ahsoka has finally finished, and I can tell you something, what a show. So I'm going to begin with an overview of basically what I think. So if you didn't catch my halfway one, where we got up to was the fact that the Vins had the map again and transferred to the new galaxy with Sabine stranded, and Ahsoka of course was stranded on Cetos, the planet where the map was. Basically, to cut a long story short, Thrawn is found and they escape, but the good guys find Ezra and he comes home safe, whilst Sabine, Ahsoka and Huyang are spread on Peridea with the Noti, along with Bale Skull, who has found something interesting, and Shin Hati, who prepares to lead a group of bandits. But what's up with her? Basically, let's cut to the chase. This is a good series, in my personal opinion. There's been so many good series, and I knew the pressure was on, because I actually felt this series was after, probably, as I've said, the greatest series of all time, which was the Mandalorian series. And I think everything paid off for a reason, and I think there's a reason why I said some of these criticisms during the reviews. I said that Ahsoka was yet to have a moment, and these things were solved by the end or during the series. There's just something, when Dave Filoni gets it right, he gets it right. I knew that from the Jedi, we were in for a treat. And I knew I had questions throughout the series and some concerns, but you know what? I'm glad I had them because I got them answered. And I think sometimes when you have concerns, you need to see more. And maybe that's the thing I need for Doctor Who. Please, Russell T. Davies, please. Yeah, I think there's very much potential here. And yeah, but back to Ahsoka. This just felt amazing. Everything came together. I mean, it was like Rebels 5, but to me, I don't think it was like Rebels. It was like a mix of Ahsoka's world and the Rebels world. And yeah, I think there was a lot of things, like, for example, a new galaxy, and of course, continue from the Mandalorian, that New Republic stuff. Naughty Xeno, naughty Santa Xeno. But we'll get to him. I have a lot to say about that man. So let's begin, of course, with Ahsoka stuff. Now, Rosario Dawson, I felt, brought a lot to Ahsoka, and I felt like she had a lot of scenes that made her stand out. In fact, she had her moment. I think she had a lot of them, actually. I think, for me, the first one's probably back in episode 3 when she takes on the bad guys in a spacesuit on top of her ship. It's iconic. And then when she calls the whales, when she's in her white stuff, Ahsoka the white, that is beautiful. Yeah, and I think that's the most important thing to talk about, is the fact that she has this transformation throughout her journey from being she's kind of struggles at the beginning. She's trying to find out a map and try and stop it into the wrong heads, and unfortunately Apprentice loses it on a number of occasions, of course, which is part of the story. And she has a bit of doubt herself, especially when she loses against Balin Skull on Cetos, and she ends up nearly dying because, well, that was a close call for her. And I like that scene when she kind of is showing her past and gains the will to live again, and that spurs off the whole scene with the Purgers and that fantastic moment. I think it's impressive. But yeah, I think the fact that, you know, she is angry with Sabine at sometimes, but I think what I love is she starts to understand Sabine as a person, and says to her it doesn't matter about Thrawn escaping or something. And the fact that she stays on Peridea because she thinks she's got a calling there, I think is very impressive, because I don't think her story's done. There's still more to uncover, and I think, even though I don't get it yet, I'm excited to see more. I'm hoping Rosario returns, because I think with some of this cast there's more potential, and I think they've proven it. And of course seeing Morai as well, beautiful. Let's talk about Sabine then. Now, I loved her start, and then I had a bit of a moment where I wasn't unsure because she kept making flaws. I mean, the first few episodes was fine, but then when they got to I think episode 4, I was like, is this right? Is this right? But I think at the end, what I like the fact is, once Ahsoka said things, it made me understand the former flaws. But you know what? What happened was the fact that she was able to get through it and learn that there's more. But also her training, I like the fact that she was a struggling apprentice. And guess what? It came through in the end, and I think the last 3 episodes proved like that. She is capable of wielding a lightsaber and the Jedi, and she defeats one of the zombie death troopers, which is very impressive. I mean, to do that's impressive, and I'm proud of her. And Natasha Lee Bordizzo just gives a lot of good vibes for it, and I like her for it. And I think, yeah, there's so many amazing moments in Sabine's storyline. Now let's talk about a certain mechanoid figure, someone who has been the GOAT of the series, the greatest of all time in the series, and someone who has definitely shown how good they are. And this person, of course, has a lot of pressure going forward into his next project, because he is kind of the outsider. It's my boy David Tennant. Yes, I think David really brought a lot. I just felt like, if I look at it now, I feel like I kind of feel like I am him. It's a similar tech. There's just something that really says to him, he is like me, and that's a huge personal thing. And also, I got emotional about the moment when he says, "I told them to stay together, but they wouldn't listen. They never listen." It was one of those emotional moments where, oh, Dave, finally, you did it, man. And yes, I think he is amazing. And plus, 8 episodes in a row. I mean, I was hoping he would be in all 8 episodes. And whatever he did, he delivered. I like the fact that he advised people. But also, he was a good pilot. And, you know, and he also was like the daddy. Yeah, I personally love him. But I do hope David brings this as the Doctor. Now, I want to talk about the New Republic, as you know. You've seen me mention this quite a bit, of course. The absolute joke of the New Republic, yes. Now, in case you've missed the Mandalorian, they refused to help, of course, Navarro, and that ends up in the Mandalorians helping out, and that ended up being good for them. But also, they were under the influence of Imperial spy, Elliot Kane as well. This time, someone else, may not be Imperial, does that, and that's the silly Santa Sino. I mean, oh yes, is the next Paz Vizsla the joke? Yeah. When Paz was gone, there's an opening for a joke guy, and I think he is. I mean, yes, I don't like the guy, but I think he is also a joke, and I like that about him. But yeah, you know, he's definitely interesting, because obviously he has like some kind of vendetta against Hera, and Hera just gives those statements back at him. Good for her. Yeah, but he's interesting. But I think with Mary Elizabeth Winstead, she didn't appear as much as the other girls, but you know, she still brought her A game, and she felt properly close to Vanessa Marshall's version. She was mumsy, she was rebellious, she never just continued what Hera was doing. That's what I loved about her, and I just think that, I would have loved to see more of her because she's a legend, and I can understand that. Obviously, she's not a huge part of the story, but yeah, I do hope Hera comes back because I don't think we've seen enough of her, and I feel like her story still has something very special. Also, there was, of course, Chopper, the war criminal droid. Once again, voiced by Dave Filoni. Legend. I love him. And a huge respect and applause to Evan Whitten, who really brought Jason Sindler to life. And I just love him. And the fact that he got his chance to have a moment and show his Force techniques made Jason stand up even more. And, he's a hero. He saved Ahsoka's life. And Evan gave him a good performance. And that's why I love that case. And I agree with the cast on that moment. I really, really do. Paul Young Lee returned as Carson Teffer, and once again has shown how he is such a lovable hero. I love the fact that he is a bit of a rebel like he was in The Pirate, and I think he was one of the best parts of the series. And yeah, I want more of Carson because he's definitely looking like one of the strongest and most improved characters in the New Republic era. Senator Mon Mothma, played by Genevieve O'Reilly. I know a few people said she wasn't going to appear as much, but she actually appeared in 3 episodes, which is quite interesting. I liked how she was trying to support Hera, but she had to deal with Xeno's temperament, and I actually thought she was actually quite good. And yeah, it was just nice to see her try her best to resolve the situation. But yes, she does have a setback, but that happens. That's Mon. Yeah, but also Andrew Daniels CP3 cameo is still amazing. It gives me deja vu back to when, of course, R2-D2 returned and he made his 2 appearances. Yeah, it's just nice to see that the original trilogy look back, and of course the Leia mentions. Okay, so what are we up to next? It's time for Villain Central. What did I think? Well, they were great. Yes, this is the thing. They were kind of the ones that I was concerned about, but you know what? Looking back, we've had Ray Stevenson, R.I.P., Ivana Setno, Donnelly Inzonito, and of course Lars Mikkelsen as well. They've all, and of course the Night Sisters as well, they've all delivered when it counted. And I think when you look at characters like this, they're definitely different. All of them have the same goal, was to free fall and escape the galaxy. And there was also, of course, the interest in Marek, of course, R.I.P. He left way too early, but like I said before, I don't think he would have lasted a lot longer, to be fair. I like how they free Morgan and they end up succeeding their quest. But it's interesting to see that Bane's okay of being stranded, and yeah, because he obviously has a call-in, which we don't know what it is. But from what people say, it could be back to the old Mortis arc if you haven't seen the Clone Wars. But yeah, and then you got Shin, as I said earlier before, she's now leader of the bandits. But to me, as I said in my review, she does seem a bit emotional, and I'm wondering what that is, or she's just trying to get her confidence back. I don't know. And then Morgan Nelson, so she finds a way to get back from, which I really love. And then she ends up becoming a Night Sister herself, because of course she is Night Sister related, and gains this weapon. And then sent to her death by Thrawn, which he says is necessary to lose someone. And she does lose her life, actually, to Ahsoka, even though she nearly bested her in combat. Yeah, it's kind of sad to see her go, because she was actually one of the own villains. But yeah, I think it's important to say that if you serve Thrawn, you're way out of it. But Thrawn was interesting bit, and Lars, I actually love what Lars did. He just felt memorable, and I think the more I think about it, it's interesting what he wants. So why has been keeping cargo, and why is he taking him to Dathomir? Yes, the Night Sister homeland that also you might have seen animation. Looks super cool. Yeah, but the Dark Jedi were definitely interesting, and what really saddens me is we're not going to see more of Ray Stevenson. So I do concern for Bane and Skull's future in the series. I just hope they don't leave it, because I think from what they left off, I think Bane still got stuff in it. But yeah, I just hope they don't leave it out, because it does look very strong for him. The Night Sisters were very interesting as well. I mean, they're very scary, and their magic, of course, making those zombie night troopers and death troopers very interesting. Nice to see dark magic. So, yeah, I actually felt emotional when they lost Morgan. I felt it is odd for me to really feel, because I'm normally like, I love it when they're defeated, because I love that comedy aspect. But when that happened, I was like, I'm left cold. I'm left emotional. I mean, well done, Dave, and well done, actresses. Well done, everyone. Yeah, but I do miss Mark, and I actually thought he was quite entertaining. And also, there was also the Imperial Remnants on, of course, Peridea. Also Bad Batch reference, yes. And it was interesting to see that they've added to what John Favreau had already created. And I also remember, I think he did create some of it with John, so it was nice to see it. From the majestic villain, let's get talking about some of those plots. Okay, so the whole plot, as I said before, is excellent. It's dark, it's emotional, but everything sits across very well. And also into what the Mandalorian, of course, originally starting, of course, the Rebels, of course. And I think it's important to look at it, because I felt like the best part of them all, in my personal opinion, of course, was Ahsoka's journey, and it still makes me happy. I don't know why, but I just love how she comes from doubting to like wise, and it makes her really stand up with a big, beautiful moment. Let's talk about the world building. Of course, we have, of course, Cetos, the dark planet where the map is. Peridea, the new, of course, barren planet, of course, with the dead Purgles. R.I.P. Purgles. Of course, Coruscant, as well. I love the design. I know we're yet to go on Dathomir, but whatever we've got next, the planet looks beautiful. So, who's ready to see some favourite scenes from? Let's talk. Okay, so obviously some of my favourite scenes are, as I've always stated before, those two scenes with Ahsoka, when she fights off the villains on the ship, but also when Sabine pilots the ship, and of course the Purgles come out. Oh my gosh! It's Purgle Central, people. And then of course there's this moment, of course, when Ahsoka contacts the Purgles, and then of course, yes, she contacts the Purgles, and then that scene where the New Republic sees it and the hyperspace jump, beautiful. Also the Noti coming in as well. That scene is just so beautiful. Glad they are still here. I'm just glad they're still here. Yeah, and I think there's some good. For example, I think another scene that stands out is gonna be that moment where Morgan turns into Night Sister. That is creepy. It's probably one of those, just as creepy as maybe something that, like those when the Dark Troopers awake. So the Dark Troopers awaken. Of course, the rescue, amazing. Yeah. So I want to talk about some of the other characters out there, because I feel like I need to give them some shout outs. The Purgles. Love you, Purgles. They're just so cute. And of course, it gives me deja vu back to when Grogu sees them in Deep State. Once again, shout out to Rick Famuyiwa and John Favreau. Beautiful moment, scene, beautiful. And what Dave Filoni, Steph Green do is they do it even more beautiful. And of course, Gina Sanjay for singing in their vessels, beautiful. And the Nosy, I'm just a huge fan of them. They're so cute. It's like Cute Central this year, and I am a huge fan of the designs, and I'm glad that they all survived, because I was worried that they were going to get killed off. I was going to get attached to them and they were going to go. So thanks, Dave, for sparing the Nosy. Oh, and of course, the bandits were quite hilarious, but very interesting. Yeah, and what else? Also, the guys on the film, very beautiful. And of course, oh yes, I think I need to give a special mention to a certain love cat that now has the name of Merly. Huge shout to Merly for being a legend, and I hope you're okay, Merly, and I hope you're keeping Lefo safe or just enjoying what you do. Love, Merly. Okay, so we're going to talk about, once again, the kindness. Kevin, Dean and Sean. Now, earlier this year, they made me cry with some of their beautiful tracks. Of course, that's in the Bad Batch, text stuff. And of course, when Echo leaves, yeah, they're so amazing. I think they're all a talented trio, and of course, everyone else involved, love it. One of my favourite music from them is the hyperspace jump, which is called when the Purgles fly with Ahsoka and Huyang, and they jump into hyperspace and are made by the New Republic crew. It's just so beautiful. Okay, so unfortunately, it's time for a bit of sadness. Sadness, please. I am sad to say that recently, Sean Tropic, the costume designer, not just of Ahsoka, but of all of the New Republic so far, and of course, Skeleton Crew, has left us. And I want to spare this moment to talk about her costumes, not just in Ahsoka, but everywhere. I think she is a fantastic designer. I loved her costumes, her Ahsoka work, Bo-Katan, Sabine, and of course the new work with the Mandalorians, and of course, what else? Fennec's outfit, Boba's redone outfit. She did a really great work, and she is a talent, and I will miss her. R.P. Shauna Tripnick. Okay, so let's finish with a thought post. I still think this is one of the strongest series out there. I don't know where I would put it, but I think it's in that category of stronger, because you can't do a show like that and then you're just as good as maybe someone from another show. It's just a strong show. And also Dave Filoni, once again doing his bit. I think he did a great job, and plus his Shadow Warrior episode, which he wrote and directed, is probably one of the best episodes of all time in my opinion. Plus, shout out to Hayden Christensen and Ariana Greenback. Loved Hayden's role, glad they used him to perfection, and Ariana made a good young Ahsoka, and she did a really great job. The next episode, of course, is a tribute to Jodie Whittaker's 13th Doctor, as it's nearly a year since she left the role, and I wanted to give her a good tribute, so please join me as I share her best moments, and of course, share some tributes. So that's my discussion on Ahsoka. I hope you enjoyed listening. If you love all these episodes I do, please like and subscribe, as I appreciate all the support, and I really do love seeing what you guys think about what I do. Also, if you want to talk about Ahsoka, please comment in the comment section down below, or if you want to do it on social media at Fazman22 on X, Facebook and Threads, and of course Instagram as well, you can do that. Once again, thank you for being with me for a year, and hopefully for another year of Doctor Who and Star Wars content. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye everyone. Thank you for listening to Phasma and Jarrins. Please get in touch at Phasma22 on social media. If you love anything I do, please subscribe to the Phasma and Jarrins YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed listening to this podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Subscribe to Phasma and Jaren